name is Daryl Gayler and I work for Royal Bank of Scotland.
What general skills do young people need when starting their first job?
I think if it's a first job in banking, then the key is to have a nice range of skills. So clearly maths and English are helpful, but the most important thing is to have the right attitude and the right ambition and the right behaviours.
What qualifications and experience would a young person need to have to increase their chance of getting a job in your sector?
So again, from a banking perspective, things like maths is important, and it depends what role you're looking for within the banking sector. If you want to go into a very specific role, then you might choose IT, for example, if you wanted to work in the IT department. But generally, to take a role in banking, then we look for a range of skills and a rounded personality. So that's as much about you as an individual and your attitude as it is your underlying academic qualifications. But clearly, you need to have a base level, and I say maths and English are two that we particularly look for.
Why did you choose to work for this company?
Because it offered me the opportunity to develop my career. I'd been working within the leverage finance team at a European organisation before, and RBS were one of the lead players in my particular sector. So it was an opportunity to stretch myself, challenge myself, take on some additional responsibility, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
What information do you look for on a young person's CV?
I go initially to their academic qualifications because, as I say, you really need a base level of academic skills to be able to work in banking. But then, assuming that you sort of tick the box from that perspective, we're then looking at what other things you've done with your life or your career to date. So things that give us an indication about you as individuals, what your interests are, how motivated you are, what kind of passions you have, and what things do you do outside of the classroom, either locally in the community or in terms of your particular hobbies and interests, to make sure you've got that rounded personality that we're looking for.
What are the routes into your career, so like A-levels, college, etc.?
There's a range of routes really. So most banks, and RBS is no different, will take people straight out of school on apprenticeships. They'll take people out of colleges with certain college qualification. They'll take people out of universities with sort of graduate degrees. So it just depends on what level you're looking to enter the industry at as to what kind of qualifications you'd need. But I think the key message is that there's no one size fits all. There's a range of options, and it's up to you, I think, individually to work out what you want to do with your studies and whether you want to be going straight into a career from school or indeed go via university. But the good thing I say with all banks is they'll offer you that flexibility.
Do people stay in your company and progress, or do they need to move to further their own careers?
It varies really. We've got people working in my team that have been with the bank 35 years. I've been with the bank 13 years. Personal view is I think it's good to work outside. I think it's at some stage important in your career to get that blend of skills and that mix of learnings from working in different environments. So I've worked at Austrian banks, German banks. I've lived and worked in Vienna. I started my career with NatWest in the local branch, and I'm now back working for Royal Bank of Scotland in the sort of the south of England. So I've sort of almost like gone full circle. But the key thing is, variety, and then just making the most of every opportunity that you've got.
Okay.
There you go.
Brilliant. Fantastic.